Can I pass?
Yeah, you may. If you don't have any advice, that's fine. Hello and welcome to this month.
This month.
This month?
This month. If you all would like to have an interview or have an artist friend be interviewed here on our This Month channel, just be sure to email me. Links below.
Before we get started, like, share, subscribe, and we have a coffee account.
We have a Buy Me a Coffee account.
We have a Buy Me a Coffee account.
Buy us a coffee, please. I'm Algernon of the art department.
And I'm Urian from the music department.
And I'm Kelsey from the film department.
And she's the one we're going to be interviewing today. So
Let's get right to it.
what she does.
And how is your day going, Kelsey?
It's going good. It's the middle of the day. Sunday, I guess.
Sunday fun day.
Oh yes. And how long? Tell us a little bit about yourself to start off with.
My name's Kelsey. I am a co-owner of Happy Accidents Media Production. Officially, my title is Chief Executive Member. That just means I take care of all the boring paperwork and sign all the documents. I graduated from NAU in 2013 with a bachelor's degree in electronic media and film with independent filmmaking minor, and I got that minor from the Sedona Film School, which is no longer operating, I believe. And I have a little one, and I live on the Navajo Reservation, and I make films.
All right, thank you. And for the questions, would you like to start off with Urian?
Yeah, I think we could go back and forth on each question, if that's cool.
Sounds good.
Cool. How long have you been making films and doing film stuff?
I think the first time I made films was back in middle school with my friend Caitlin. She had like this little tiny digital recorder, and we would just make really ridiculous short scripts that I really hope no one will ever find ever.
What first made you interested in doing film?
So I've always been interested in photography. We call him Grandpa Greg. He bought me my first camera when I was in 3rd grade, and I really enjoyed taking photos. And when I first went to college, I was taking media classes thinking I was going to go into like photojournalism or fashion photography or something. But within those media classes, I found myself really, really interested and drawn to filmmaking and the different dynamics of the film industry and the film history. So then my first year of college, I decided to just pivot my schooling to do filmmaking. And so I had to completely change colleges because they didn't have a film program at the college I was going to.
And do you have a favorite piece of art you've created?
A favorite piece? I do. It's not film, it's a photo that I took of my younger sister. She has this sani dress, and she's holding it up, and it's like falling really nicely. I really love that photo of her and the imagery and the movement in it. I don't know where I would post it or anything. She didn't want it for her graduation announcement, so I just have it, and it's really nice, and I don't know what to do with it now. But I'll find something.
What do you love about your trade?
What do I love about my trade? I love how many different parts go into making a film. Like, usually when you hear about filmmaking or watch a movie, you only think about the actors or the director. But when going to class and going to the Sedona Film School, you realize how much everything is really broken down into sections. Like, there's carpenters who make the film sets. There's somebody there, like, making sure the dining table is set just right, and every shot they have to make sure the silverware or the water in the glass is the exact same place. And it takes a lot of different art forms to make a single movie. So there's paintings, there's music, there's acting, there's writing, there's cinematography, and I just love the way all of the artwork comes together to make a single film.
What is your work regime?
Or
And
that
you,
also means like your work process. You have like a system of how you do your work.
um, in my head, I have this perfect system of how things go, but I've also know that not everything will go according to plan. Um, uh, work regime process. Well, like,
It's such an intense word, I feel like.
let's see. It's it depends on every project, I guess. For the film work that I've been doing recently, it's all recording digital, like this is right now, over the interwebs and stuff. And so what I try to do is make sure my hard drives and everything are processed correct, or are working correctly, the internet's stable. I have all the little OBS software set correctly, and I always try to make sure I have like my phone off to the side, so I have all the details and stuff of the script planned out in case I need to look at that and not bother the computer. Um, but like I said, it depends on every project. Some things you have to work on more than you would in a different one. Like for our film Envy, we took a lot of time working on the props and making sure we had the props and the stuff together because we couldn't, um, I guess we couldn't wing it when it came to pretending to throw a sheep in the fire. We had to have something that looked like a sheep. There wasn't something you could just do on the spot. And also making sure we had the correct locations. So that one took a lot of prep work, and I felt like the script we got done really fast. And then the actors we acquired quite, I don't want to say fast, but like, it wasn't easy getting the actors, but I felt like that came together really quickly as well. But then we spent more time on the props and making it look nice more than the script. And then with the other movie we made, we spent more time on the script and more time trying to get the scheduling down than we did on the props because that wasn't a main focus of that film. Was it the Yiya film that we premiered this past October?
Mhm.
Okay. What is one struggle you have within your trade?
I think right now I'm kind of removed from the mainstreamness of my trade because I'm working off the reservation, quite literally and I guess figuratively. Because Happy Accidents isn't a part of any union that the film industry is really known for, and we're not really registered with any of those organizations. And I guess one problem, like I said, I'm not really in it to know what the problems would be with them, but from like a Native American filmmaker standpoint, I feel like we get pigeonholed into making specific films or talking about specific topics, and I really try to break away from that. So sometimes it feels like I'm not making the movies and telling the stories that's expected to me to be told because of who I am.
How do you stay motivated in your line of work?
How do I stay motivated? I do a lot of planning. I'm an I'm really into planning and organizing everything, and so I try to lay out my process and my steps. And I think I get over motivated to where I burn out sometimes. And so that's one thing that affects me with being motivated is sometimes I focus too much on something for too long that I forget to take care of myself. So I'm trying to create better planning processes and goal setting processes that will stop me from being burnt out. And then also watching and listening to other videos and movies and other people talk about the film industry just makes me re-energized in some of the creative stuff when I get in a creative stump, like when I see a really good movie and I'm like, oh, that's really cool, I like the visuals in this, or I like the storytelling in this other story, and I'm like, maybe I can just get back into it.
Okay. Do you have a specific mantra, philosophy, or creed you live by when creating a film
uh,
or any media production?
right now the mantra I've been living everything by is bit by bit, and it came from an anime called Ergo Proxy. There's this little robot, and she says it because she hears this what's it called, this proxy thing goes into this big epic poem, and the beginning of part is like bit by bit, and that little robot just repeats that one spot part where he goes bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit.
I know what you're talking about. Ergo Proxy anime.
Yeah, so that's just kind of like when I get unmotivated, or I feel like a project or something is too big, I just remember like bit by bit. So it's like just take one little step at a time, and it'll all come together in the end.
Mhm. Um, do you have any favorite directors and or actors?
Um, I'm not good at names. um, I know one actor that, not actor, director that I really like their work visually. I'm gonna horribly mess up his name. Um, Gar.
Guillermo del Toro.
There you go, that one. I see in my head. I see the way his name is written out, and then I
Mhm.
can't say his name the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
So I like his visuals a lot, and some actors that I like Nicole Kidman as an actor. I think she's a really beautiful, tall lady.
Uh-huh.
um, I can't really think of them right now. Like I said, I'm horrible with names, but Nicole Kidman comes to mind. What's her name? She was in Mad Max Fury Road.
Charlize Theron?
Charlize Theron. Yeah, her. I love her acting, and I also think she's really pretty. Um, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I like the movies he's been in. He's a good actor too. That's all I can think of right now. I'm really bad at names. Oh, what's his name? Edward Norton. I like some of the films he's been in.
Nice. Good actors.
Nice. Good. Yeah. Uh, Speaking of, actors and directors, what is your favorite genre of movies?
Um, I like horror movies in general, but I think like my favorite movie that I'll watch all the time would, well, I can't watch them anymore, but it's like made for sci-fi fantasy movies, like the Sci-Fi Channel. Those fantasy. I really enjoyed those movies. And
Like those low budget uh
those low
movies.
budget, yeah, the ones like on like the Greek.
You could tell that CGI green screens. Yeah.
They're just fun, and they're interesting. They don't have like, I don't know, like sometimes when you watch action movies, you know what it's going to be, but like they're following the specific action movie tropes, traits, and trends.
Formula, yeah.
And I really don't like Hallmark holiday movies. I see the whole thing from beginning to end. I'm like, oh, she's moving to the small town that really loves Christmas and she hates Christmas, and there's going to be some widower or something there that's going to teach her to love Christmas. Or it's like the opposite with like the CEO guy or whatever. It's so predictable, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
I seem to notice that too, that the whole Hallmark movie trends are almost a bit similar storylines, but different places and actors
They're
and
not
characters.
trying to break any new boundaries. They're like, here's a cute love story with Christmas and joy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
If you could have any budget, what type of movie or TV series would you make?
I have a couple ideas rolling around in my head. One that I've been kind of bouncing back and forth with my younger brother, Taylor, because when I moved back here, he was still living in the house and he would play Fallout Shelter? Fallout? Something?
Fallout.
I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know the
I'm pretty sure
number.
it's just Fallout. I think it was 3 or
Yeah.
4.
And I thought, what would be really cool if there was like a native story like this? Like it'd be like this big epic story of like just exploring a post-apocalyptic world, um where I guess the old spirits, the old gods from like different indigenous peoples just came back alive, and just going through that whole like epic fantasy world. I keep coming back to it, but then in my head it gets too big in lore that I can't just sit down and start writing it, which I know is something I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But also something I think would be fun would be like Twilight Zone, but like the native horror Twilight Zone with like native scary stories and things in the area. That that's kind of how I see it. Like it's a way to help like preserve different teachings and stories and lore and mythology that we have, but told in a more modern way.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds very interesting. Uh,
I do recall you mentioning that too, and I was still looking forward to checking how the outcome's gonna be.
I just need to sit down and write it.
What do you think is the biggest problems filmmakers are facing in your area?
In my area, um, well, I guess because the industry moved from Arizona to New Mexico, they probably have like better tax rates or something, or tax breaks, and so they moved to New Mexico. But that'd be like the biggest thing, is that there's no real film industry organization here in Arizona. And for filmmakers doing movies on the Navajo Reservation, I was looking at some of the applications to like doing a big full feature length film. And just like everything on the Navajo Nation, there's a lot of red tape, and it looks like a lot of like money having to be spent up front. Like one of the things on the application was like, how many people are in your crew and how many vehicles are you going to be having um driving around and everything. So it's like,
mhm.
even if you're just like thinking about, oh, a location here, they expect you to have all the details up front. Um, which I guess sometimes it could be a good thing, but sometimes it's like I'm just trying to see what the what the location looks like. I don't even know if I'm going to confirm this is going to be a spot, but you know, you need the permission to film first, but then you're not even sure. how things are going to go, just because sometimes when making a film there has to be some sort of fluidity to it, because like some people might not be able to, you know, work with you anymore, or the script might change and you have to change up location or the timing or something. And from the application I was reading from the Navajo film office is that it seems very rigid, and it's honestly more um targeted towards like commercials, like literally commercials.
COVID-19 made a disruptive impact in almost all businesses and industries, filming included. What were the challenges and opportunities you took during our time of social distancing?
Just before COVID became really serious, we had an actual, we just started a contract to document um, another business in their startings of things. And so it was kind of disappointing not being able to continue with that contract. And we both made the decisions like, yeah, we have to kind of just end this contract, stop it here. And after that, um, we kind of took that opportunity as a business to work on ourselves more. And so I put a lot of like my filmmaking and script writing kind of on the back burner as we really honed in on how to operate a little more function better as a business, and try and actually learn how to do bookkeeping and payroll and how to price our services, and to think of our services as that and not as a product, because before we were pricing things as a product, and you know, 1 minute video for one person may take 2 days when another 1 minute video may take 10 days for another person, just depending on the types of shots and things that they wanted. So I took COVID and the social distancing as a time to self-reflect and just reorganize our business and how we wanted to proceed as a business.
Yeah. Happy Accidents Media Production was selected last year to be part of Change Labs Incubator, uh, Learning Labs. How was your experience for you?
The experience of the Change Labs Learning Labs, um, it was interesting. It was kind of exhausting having to hyper focus on a lot of the stuff that we don't normally pay attention to. Um, like what I know the question that they kept asking us over and over and over again was like, what's our purpose? What's our mission?
Who's your target audience?
Who's your target audience? Yeah. And
Yes.
and that it felt weird to always be like focusing on that as creators, cuz like when inspiration hits me and I want to create something with my photography or come up with a storyline or something, I'm not actually thinking about my target audience. I'm like, this is a story I want to tell, or this is an image I want to capture. So, as a business, trying to focus on our target audience so much um, was really draining. And then having to create our pitch was also a lot of focus time, um, like doing the financial projections and having to work all of that out. I'm okay with math. I generally like doing math. But when it becomes down to like statistics and trying to predict algorithms and stuff, I just go cross-eyed and my brain tries to shut down. It's like, no, don't do this. It's not fun. And trying to fight my brain on having to really focus on that is exhausting.
So good experience. All in all.
it, it was helpful, and it did give us a lot of information and tools on how to run our business, but I guess it also gave us like the opportunity to figure out how we wanted to run our business in our own
One
way.
second, I hear my dog barking.
Okay. So yeah, Change Labs was it was a good experience in figuring out how to run our business. Yeah.
Cool. While we are still social distancing, what are the new challenges you are facing?
It's kind of the same old challenges. It's just learning to work with them. Like being on the Navajo Reservation, we don't have a lot of options for internet service. And so something that might take like 10 minutes in the city takes like 5 hours here. For example, just like uploading a video for a client, it takes a really long time. And with social distancing on the reservation in a small community that we're in, there's already not a lot of people. And when those few people are also not going out and like seeking work or seeking services that we provide, then it kind of turns a little stale for the work that we have to do.
What film project or projects are you currently working on?
Right now, because of the social distancing, I don't want to try and like do any major film projects with lots of people. And so I've taken on a couple of jobs from some nonprofits, which is like virtual recording for their website or just doing some editing. So that's what I'm doing right now as income. But I do have a couple of other projects. I have the Navajo Tea Time that I film with Adrian once a month, and that's fun. I started that to just so I didn't get rusty with like editing and setting up lights and the camera equipment.
From your perspective, what does the future of the film industry look like here in the Navajo Reservation?
My hopes are that it would be as lucrative or whatever as like the one in New Mexico and or even Austin, Texas. There are quite a handful of Navajo filmmakers, and we kind of are running independently and small, but I would really hope to be able to with Happy Accidents with the company make a large film studio where we can just start churning out films and movies and albums and comic books and cartoons that are just not specifically, oh, they're Navajo, they're native, they're only for Navajos or natives, but like it's something that we produce that is us, but other people can enjoy it too. Like an example I give is like I really like um Asian horror movies or like Korean horror movies, and I don't fully understand the culture completely, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy the movie. It's a different beat and structure time wise and
Mm-hmm.
storytelling wise, and that doesn't make it horrible for me because it's different, but then you also get the insight and the way that culture and region is because of the different nuances that you see in the films. So that would,
In essence, what you're saying is that it's just like watching foreign films and loving foreign films.
yeah, like we can create our own type of movie.
To be quote unquote foreign film.
Foreign. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably called Res Films.
Well, like
Hear
a
her
great
yelling in the background.
example would be Res Dogs, that just came out, or Reservation Dogs, that just came out. There's a
Mhm.
lot of funny nuances and stuff in that film, but it's culturally accepted worldwide. People are like, well, I just don't get it. It's like there's things that are common with other minority groups, and the non-minority groups can still enjoy it. It's not isolating in any way.
Yeah.
Okay. And are there any advice you have for emerging filmmakers?
Um, any advice for emerging filmmakers? Can I pass?
Yeah, you may. If you don't have any advice, that's fine.
That's kind of a difficult question, but I would say, I guess what I would have done differently is I would have tried working on more film sets at the beginning in different, I guess, positions, like doing more PA work on larger film sets to get a better feel for it, and also keeping good relations with other filmmakers in your industry in your area is really good. You don't have to like be friends and really like them on a personal level, but like just being courteous to other filmmakers, it really helps when like you have a project or you want to get on a project, because in the film industry and I guess other business sense, networking is really key, especially for small businesses and filmmaking. And knowing people is how we got a lot of jobs out here on the reservation. And then just keeping, at the minimum, a professional relationship with a lot of people is very helpful.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the interview. And I guess our last question is for all of us. What are we looking forward to this month of December?
Um, what are we looking forward
What?
to?
Yeah, we'll start with you, Kelsey.
This month, it's the end of the year. I'm not looking forward to doing the taxes.
That's always the hard administrative work that we try to avoid, but we have to do it.
What's this we? Um, but
Right.
um, I look forward to a lot of new projects that we hopefully can get started next year, and doing the planning process for that. Me and my friend Mona are working on doing a new podcast to release and really getting back into Navajo tea time. We took a long break in the summer because that's where we got super busy with other administrative work. And I'm really looking forward to creating a new mini short film for the upcoming October. Hopefully, we can get started on working for something, and just, the whole new year processes of like starting new projects and revamping some old projects, and just implement a lot of the business advice and tactics that we learned from Change Labs.
Okay. And how about you, Ryan? What are you looking forward to this month in December?
Um, things are kind of slowing down right before they're about to speed up, and I'm looking forward to the slowdown.
What about you, Algernon? Gurnin, what are you looking forward to this month of December?
I am looking forward to. That's the language of the gods. I hope you understand. I'm actually looking forward to getting into the holiday spirit this year with my family and whoever else will be celebrating with us here at our home. Also, I'd like to get back into my concept art for my short horror comics, and also help you out, Kelsey, with your next year's Halloween film as well. Ooh, the animation. It's starting to get a little bit fun. I do want to get back into it.
Well, this has been this month, and we hope you liked the interview. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We have a Buy Me a Coffee account, and supporters get a monthly sticker that we actually have them in now, so we'll be getting them hopefully sent out this month. And go on it.